I'm Andres from BAM Sonidos Camelónicos, also the translator from Jhon Jatenjor's interviews. Welcome, man. Welcome to the
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We know that one of the most expected songs are Through the Valley. In fact, I don't know if you know of our friend, mutual friend Andres told you that when Gustavo Santolaya came here to Rueda Parque, he played a medley from The Last of Us, and it was a really big spectacle. You know that series and that video game series got a lot of followers. So tell us, what are your expectations of playing with the Colombian audience, man? I think there will be fans from both from your work, but for the series. So tell us.
Yeah, we have never been to Colombia before, so we are absolutely excited to come through for the first time. Last year, we were in Brazil, and we did Brazil and Argentina, and all of a sudden, I'm getting all these comments from Colombians being like, "You're so close. Why don't you come to Colombia? We have an amazing music scene. We want you here." So I heard them, and I said, "Okay, booking agent, let's go to Bogotá. Let's try it out." So yeah, that's the beautiful thing in South America in general. One of my favorite things about the audience and the crowd is that it feels like they're a part of the show with you. They don't just stand there and listen and then it's done. It's like they're actively in the show and they're passionate and they're intense. Some of the best crowds we've ever had in South America. So I'm looking forward to seeing, the Colombians and meeting the people and eating some good food and seeing some new places,
Had interview with the voice actor from The Last of Us here in Latin America, and he's not famous. I will let you know, and I will let Jhon do his question.
La verdad, yo quisiera preguntarle sobre un álbum que la verdad es sus inicios, que la verdad me parece interesante, que Shadows. Quisiera preguntarle cómo fue ese debut en el tema musical y también la experiencia.
Yeah, man, talking also again about The Valley and Shadows, the album in which this amazing song is on. Yeah, Jhon is asking about the experience recording because it's the first one of you as a soloist. So tell us how it's been all these years with this album.
Yeah, that's a funny thing because Shadows, the first album, I recorded it in my bedroom and with one microphone in an old house where there was sounds coming through all the time. If you listen to Shadows, in certain parts, you can hear an ambulance going by. You can hear a train coming by. And that was all real because I was recording in a bedroom and there was stuff all around. But what I was going to say is there's something special about those older recordings because you weren't in a nice studio. You had the best of equipment or the best engineer. It was just me in one room by myself, putting the music in and letting the music speak for itself and the emotions and the passion. And I think that that's one reason why people gravitate towards Shadows is because there's a low quality but real gritty energy to it that is very honest and genuine about those recordings. They're very special to me.
I promise I translate to Jhon, but do it later because we got few times, so don't worry. Jhon, promise.
Yeah, no worries.
And talking about the rawness, man, it's crazy because I consider myself a melómanes. I don't know how is that the word in English. A lot of friends, I got friends that send me a lot of music. They all send me also your music back in the days. But it's crazy because in Colombia I didn't know that there is a big audience from, I don't know if we can call it Americana or American blues. But I consider it I always told it it's gothic country because people tend to feel that this music is all happy, but there are a lot of influences. In fact, we see the image of your show and it's a very depressive but beautiful. So why do you think that are the elements? Because there is a community that listens to your music and a lot of artists similar to you, and hopefully this community be in your show, cheering and singing. But what do you think are the reasons?
I think some of the biggest reasons is, like I said, with that first album, there's a lot of artists, I think, who make something to please a certain type of person, or they write something to be famous, or they write something for money or this and that. But when I write, it's because it's real. It's an emotion I had or an experience I had or something. And I think it's genuine and it's honest. So people can tell when something is real and when it makes them feel something. You know, music for me, in my past, I kind of grew up in not the best circumstances in Chicago, and music was always an escape for me. It was a release. It was like therapy before I knew what therapy was, you know, and it helped me get through a lot of things. And I feel like the messages in my songs and the emotions and the feelings a lot of times help people. From what I've traveled around the world now playing music, and my favorite thing is to hear the stories when people come up to me and talk to me about what the music means to them or how it helped them or whatever. And that's a beautiful thing, you know, as far as resonating with people. And I could never ask for any more. But in terms of the genres and how, you know, it's all over the place, because I love so many different styles of music, from country to blues to rock and roll to gospel and all these things. So I just feel like I'm a mixture of everything that I listen to, and I try to fuse it together and make something new. And hopefully that resonates with people. Obviously it's worked, you know, a lot of people have found the music, and I feel very lucky for that.
Ese álbum tan hermoso lo grabó en la casa, solo te diré eso.
Bueno, también está este tema del álbum Deliverance, que es bastante interesante que nos comente, pero también cómo percibe su comunidad el reggae, porque en reggae es donde empezaste con el tema de la actuación en AA Pundi. Entonces, coméntame un poco.
Wow, I love this question about Jhon. Jhon is always crazy being on Reddit, and he's not only asking you about Deliverance, but I don't know if you know that the Reddit community is crazy, and they talk about you, not only about your music, but also about your acting gigs. So you got some words from the Reddit community, and yeah, some words about your album Deliverance.
I am an active Redditor as well. Like, I'm on Reddit, I look up things, and the community and the discussion of the topics I learned so much from it, to be honest. So I feel honored to be featured on things. But my album Deliverance, so that was the second album I ever put out. And, you know, it was similar to Shadows, but at that time, I had met a few more people, and one of my drummer at the time was recording, and he had a better recording setup. So I went to his house to record it. And some of my favorite songs are on Deliverance. You know, it's not the most popular album I put out, but for me, songs like Pendulum Swing, the song Deliverance, the song Almost Home, and Dear Soldier are very important to me, because there's messages in there that help me get through some stuff. But yeah, Deliverance was, it was, I think, a couple years after Shadows. You know, we had toured a little bit, and taking the experience of touring and seeing how people reacted to music and this and that influenced a little bit of how I wanted to approach the album Deliverance, especially with like the song Deliverance, with that bluesy kind of like heavier groove to it. I remember I started playing that live, and there was such a big energy with it that I said we had to record this, because we have to capture this kind of Southern Gothic Americana sound that we did. So I feel like Deliverance was a little bit of it's different than Shadows, but growth in a more bluesy way in some songs. But then again, in other ones, it was folky and emotional, like Pendulum Swing and Almost Home. So yeah, is there any specific questions about Deliverance?
Jhon, que si tienes alguna pregunta específica sobre Deliverance, porque es su álbum más personal y favorito. Tienes tiempo.
¿Cuál es el impacto que ha tenido, pues, su canción favorita?
Jhon is asking, I think you told us, but if you can relay, and what is your favorite song of Deliverance? I know it's a hard question, but go ahead.
For me, it's Pendulum Swing. You know, Pendulum Swing, for me, actually, you can tell him this, I almost didn't put that song out. I was embarrassed of that song when I wrote it, because I don't know, I thought it was cheesy or it was too tacky or something. I don't know. And then I remember I went to a festival, and we were late at night around a fire with some friends, and I played that song for one of my friends, and they said, what are you talking about? You have to put that out. It's gonna resonate with people. And now that I've put it out, it's one of the songs I hear the most that has helped people out of a dark place. And, so that's the thing about, I question myself sometimes, and sometimes I don't even know. So Pendulum Swing is my favorite on that one. Yeah.
Mi favorito es Der Soldier, ¿no? Pero bueno.
The favorite one from Jhon is Der Soldier.
Yes. The chords on that one, the guitar, it's an emotional song. At the time, there was a lot of war going on with the Middle East and everything. So, and I saw this interview with a soldier, and the interview is in the song. I put a little clip of it, but it inspired me to write that one. And I also had a friend of mine who was a veteran in the army who was in my band. He played banjo. And so that is a special one to me as well. Yeah.
Like time is running off. The camera is yours. Invite people to your concert. A bit high, of course, to BAM Sonidos Camelónicos. Yeah, the camera is yours to invite the people to this jitment, to this concert. For us, it's a big thank you.
Hey, this is Shawn James, and I just want to give a big hi to BAM. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. I'm so happy to be on here with you guys, and John Shannon, thank you guys so much. We're so excited to finally come to Colombia. I know I've heard you guys on Instagram and YouTube and everything, so we're going to make it happen in Bogotá. I believe it's the 22nd of October. We're going to be there at Ace of Spades. And the one thing I can promise is that you're going to get an emotional, passionate performance that'll be from acoustic to rock and roll to soul and blues, everything in between. I promise you a night of music you will never forget. So I hope to see you all there in Bogotá. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it.